Breaking news today.
Please subscribe and then check notification box to get all breaking news alert.
Police discover what Muslim foster parents made white Christian girl, 5, do for months. After a 5-year-old white Christian girl was taken into custody by social workers, they quietly placed her into a migrant foster family against the child's wishes. When authorities discovered what the devoutly religious parents made the girl do for 6 months, social workers were desperate to cover up their disturbing mistake. In the left's push for multiculturalism, the only culture that is promoted and tolerated is Islam. Despite making up just a small percentage of the population, Muslims have raised enough of a clamor to pressure the majority into allowing them to not only adhere to a legal Sharia law but enforce it on other religious groups. Now, Islamic supremacy and proselytizing have seeped into the foster care system as authorities scramble to conceal this religious bigotry instead of protecting the young victims. As the UK staggers toward suicide by Islamization, a shock report surfaces from the nation's Department of Education that proves that the British left cares more for capitulating to its intolerant Muslim minority than protecting its own offspring. After a 5-year-old British Christian girl was taken into custody by social workers, they callously and illegally placed her into a Muslim migrant household. 6 months and 2 Muslim migrant families later, the courageous and articulate child revealed what she was forced to do by both Islamic households. The Times reports that a 5-year-old white Christian girl was rescued after telling London authorities that both Muslim migrant foster families forced their religion upon her by snatching away her crucifix, requiring her to learn Arabic, teaching her that Christian holidays are evil, and making her give up her favorite pork products to adhere to a Hill diet. The child was reportedly very distressed as she twice begged social workers to remove her from the Muslim migrant households as they don't speak English, and coerced her into denouncing Christmas and Easter, the celebratory days of the birth and resurrection of Jesus Christ, as stupid, according to the Daily Mail. During state-allowed visits with her biological mother, the girl pleaded with her parent to take her away from the devout Muslim asylum seekers because they chastised her for eating her favorite meal of spaghetti carbonara, which contains bacon. She explained that she couldn't understand most of what the foster families said because they only spoke Arabic and required her to learn it as well. After the language barrier was somewhat severed, the Muslims indoctrinated her with Islamic teachings including that Christianity is stupid and white European women are alcoholics. This is a 5-year-old white girl. She was born in this country, speaks English as her first language, loves football, holds a British passport and was christened in a church, a friend told the newspaper. She's already suffered the huge trauma of being forcibly separated from her family. She needs surroundings in which she'll feel secure. Instead, she's trapped in a world where everything feels foreign and unfamiliar. That's really scary for a young child. It is unclear how either family was permitted to foster children since neither spoke English and both were strict practicing Muslims with burqa-clad matriarchs. Reports have yet to identify why the child was taken from the first Muslim migrant family, with whom she lived for 4 months, to live with yet another Muslim migrant family. Authorities confirmed that the department has a legal obligation to consider the foster child's religious beliefs and cultural upbringing when placing them with a family. When placing a child in a foster home, the local authority must ensure that the placement is the most appropriate way to support the child's welfare. A child's background is an important consideration in this decision, a councilman said. We are unable to comment on individual cases. In every case, we give absolute consideration to our children's background and to their cultural identity. All our foster carers receive training to ensure they are fully qualified to meet the needs of children in their care. However, the families in question were not the least bit qualified to house the child as they couldn't even properly communicate with her. Such flagrant negligence has caused outrage in the UK, prompting protesters to advocate for a thorough investigation into the department. Because their religion requires them to enforce their ideology and religious law on non-Muslims, it's a wonder that Muslims have ever been allowed to foster or adopt non-Muslim children. In fact, The command to proselytize to unbelievers and slaughter them if they refuse to convert is repeatedly found throughout the Quran and Hadith. Quran 9-5 So when the sacred months have passed away, then slay the idolaters wherever you find them, and take them captive and besiege them and lie in wait for them in every ambush. Then if they repent and keep up prayer and pay the poor rate, leave their way free to them. Quran 9:29 Fight those who believe not in Allah nor the last day, nor hold that forbidden which hath been forbidden by Allah and His Messenger, nor acknowledge the religion of truth, even if they are of the people of the book, until they pay the jizya with willing submission, and feel themselves subdued. Muslims are required by their God to brutalize and oppress non-Muslims until they feel pressured enough to convert. For those surviving idolaters who remain steadfast in their non-Islamic faith, they are to pay the burdensome religious tax and feel politically and religiously subdued, or oppressed. This courageous little girl is one of the Dinas who lived under Sharia law and was required to feel subdued in an effort to force her to convert. Despite having differing beliefs, she was subjected to all the Islamic compulsions by which non-Muslims are oppressed in Muslim countries. This case is nothing less than the effects of Sharia enclaves festering within our midst via our own religious tolerance. Thank you for watching this video. What do you think about this? Share this on Facebook and Twitter along with your comments.